Hey, everybody, it's the Coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. This is fielded at the goal line. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Come on, come on. Kill.
A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd. They felt like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. Now the Jags will have great field position to start this drive as they take over on the short side of the field.
Come on, set. And two stop. Alpha.
On 1st and 10, Gilmore. Buying time to his left. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
61, matchbox, light.
2nd and 1. Going to throw right side here, complete. Touchdown, Jaguars. As his guys are in for 6. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym, preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
Well, we've seen some good pressure defensively already here in the first quarter. Here's another good example.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center.
I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can it's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they?
Throwing to start the drive. Gilmore. Gates with a grab. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. They were looking to go back to Gates, but it's going to be 2nd down. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Out of the gun, it's Tomlinson. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. A Jacksonville first down on a pickup of 17. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, that he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. The Colts D sticking to their assignments, and that brings up 4th. And the Jaguars send out their punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. They turn to Harris to begin the drive. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. After 7-0 on EA Sports. On 2nd down now, it's Harris. And he's able to get him a small cushion before being taken down at the 5, a gain of 3. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. From the gun, Geisen. Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
So here are the Jaguars to take over on offense. They were able to defeat Houston last week. They lead things here as well as they try to make it 2 victories in a row. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Gilmore. He's got his man on the crossing route. Touchdown, Jaguars. A big play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. First down, and they go back to Harris. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Operating from the gun. Dyson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they feel really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for first and 10. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. You got to go back to their play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
Looking to throw on second down. Gilmore. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, they give to Tomlinson. And he's going to be stopped well short of what he needed as the tackle is made at the 18-yard line. Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. And the 13-year man puts it through, and that will stretch the lead to 3 scores now at 19-0. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
On first down, Dyson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on...
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Colts send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's taken it around the 40. So possession goes over here on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why. Looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing. If that guy doesn't play well, their team's not going to win. And right now he's got his team in the lead.
And now they'll look to extend that lead. Tomlinson again, a first down carry. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2. And it brings up 2nd down. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Hey, exit.
To throw on 2nd down, Gilmore. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Point after, right down the middle. And a route is on here in this first half. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. And this one, a 41-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And that'll put us within 3 scores as it becomes now a 23-point game. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. This fielded at the 2. And it'll be an excellent return as he's all the way down inside the 25-yard line.
But when the highlight is shown of this play, all attention is going to be on the person running with the football, but how about the group as a whole, setting up that big-time return, yardage that we won't even account for in the box score, may help them win the game.
And they start the second half with Johnson. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. A gain of 3, second down. They go to Johnson again. Johnson with a first down or more. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown on the season as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the gun, Dyson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
They just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. It's taken to the 26. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this was just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The roads will be fairly clear by the time I have to leave the booth.
They go again to Tomlinson. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Then he will finally be taken down, but not before he gets it to the Colts 24. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. And this is Tomlinson. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
At the 16-yard line.
Running from the gun, Johnson. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal. Tomlinson, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. From 4 yards out as his guys continue to pour it on.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
2nd and 15. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Back now in Indianapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Back to throw. Dyson complete to Newsom. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a fourth down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. This is fielded at the 7. Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 7 yards there and a first down. And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And that's complete to Gates. 15 yards there for number 15. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A nice pickup of 6 there to get him closer to the end zone, and it'll be 2nd and goal. 2nd and 3 to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case,
and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule, because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made it nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because This is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. They'll start on the ground with Lynch. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 47-yard line.
Check 13. Check 13.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. They'll run it. Here's Lynch. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. This is Lynch. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. On 2nd down, it's Lynch. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his 2nd season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And the Colts coming out now. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.